quiz because I don't take a side. I believe that it's two sides of the same coin. It's a whole bunch of bullshit no matter whatever you're gonna pick. The government mandate, we're gonna do a test, a quiz. And it'll help me figure out, they'll tell me where I fall. Should the government mandate that large tech companies share their algorithms with regulators? Define regulators. Lawmakers? Should the government mandate that large tech companies share their algorithms? Regulators? What are other stances? Yes, and all software and algorithms should be open source. This is some interesting stuff, actually. Large tech companies share their algorithm. Should also no, only if there are serious allegations of harm or misconduct. I really don't know what to think about. I don't think they should be forced to release this unless there's an issue. And I think that can be applied to a lot of things. Should the government implement stricter regulations on the use of cryptocurrencies? Absolutely not. Should artists be held to the same reporting and disclosure requirements as hedge fund managers, mutual funds, and public companies when selling their work? Should artists? Define artists. Music artists? Am I an artist? Should artists be held to the same reporting and disclosure? I don't think so. Yes, but only if the sales price is high enough to justify it as an investment. I can see that. It's pretty fair, right? As you can see, I'm pretty much in the middle. Should there be more restrictions on the current process of purchasing a gun? Should there be more restrictions? I don't think there should be more, no. Question is, no, the government should pass a national stand your ground. That's possible. No, but increase penalties for gun-related crimes. Yes. No, only for criminals and the mentally ill. That's also fair. Yes, require strict back. These are good. Well, we don't already require strict back. Well, yeah, maybe you should have psycho. I think this is correct. Well, there is. Everyone should be. The Constitution of the United States says, "Thou shalt have the right to bear arms." That doesn't discriminate. I think that. I think that we can discriminate if you're not fit to own a weapon psychologically. And training. I think the training, if this has to follow the Constitution, the training would have to protect you from it becoming like, say you're charged with a crime of defending yourself. Basically, that's why we're talking about this stand your ground thing. If you have that training, you can prove that you know what you're able to know when is right and when is wrong to use that force and use it properly. Without training, it's kind of like this is gonna be a bad example. Kind of like a driver's license when you're speeding, but if you take a defensive driving course, they know that you at least somewhat care, or it's like points on your license. That's pretty bad too. It's a better way of explaining it, but it would kind of work like that. Not they're not gonna have points on your gun license. gun show loopholes a real thing? People are actually doing that? Ban all guns from public use? I don't know about that. Strict background checks, psychological testing. I think I'm for that. Should victims of gun violence be allowed to sue firearms dealers and manufacturers? No, I don't think so. Sue the car dealership that sold the car if they hit you. Should teachers be allowed to carry guns at schools? Yes, this is very important. I think that they should, yes, because if they fucking knew, no one's gonna go shoot up school. Are you stupid? No one's gonna go do that shit if they know 30 people in there defending themselves. Children as well. Federal government require racial sensitivity training for employees. I don't think that's I don't think that's a bad thing. The government officially recognize two biological, should the government officially recognize only two biological sexes? I might piss off some people here, but you're born where you're born with. You can alter it from there, but biologically, this is why we're talking about biologically. Biologically, you're born as what you're born as. That's the way it's been for thousands of years. You can change yourself. Your DNA, biologically, you're always, maybe DNA. I don't know that. What is your stance on abortion? Damn, we're really getting into it right here. I gotta consult. I can't tell someone what they can't do. Did the federal government pay for tuition of 4-year? No. Well, yes. But no, because I didn't get that. And I'm not saying, oh, I'm mad. Just give me the cost of what you would pay. Write me a check for it. The federal government paid for tuition at 4-year colleges and universities. I don't know, man. Yes, but only for partial tuition. No, but provide lower interest rates. No, but provide more scholarship opportunity. Add your own stance. Not exactly supposed to be a quiz. Do they have free college in Europe? When did they start that? And how did they how did the people who paid for college feel about that?
Hi
Dude, I don't want to log in.
Hi there. Nice to meet you.
Okay. Is uni in Europe free? When did it become free? And how was it made fair for people who did pay earlier? Free or low cost? Free or very low cost? Partially subsidized. Well, sure, they'll be public. Free higher education has been a long time. Well, okay, this question was presented strange. Did the federal government pay for tuition at 4-year colleges and universities? This is asking if the federal government should pay inflated costs for private colleges that make profit. This is saying in Germany, All public universities in Germany eliminated tuition fees. Public universities. Community colleges. Yeah, sure. Give everyone free community college. That's fine. Give everyone, but that's not, I don't know if that's what you're asking. But yes, I don't think they're going to pay for people to go to state university. If they do, that's crazy. Make any sense? That's what I was getting at. Do you support increasing taxes for the rich in order to reduce interest rates for student loans? I think they can afford it. Sure. Should critical race theory be taught? I don't know what that means. Critical race theories claim that American institutional laws are inherently racist. It argues that when what the our laws, are they actually inherently racist? No, dude, I don't. That's not right. Show more. Wait, there's. Know when this is over. Should funding for local police departments be directed to social and ah, that's a really good one. Replace police with unarmed community-based responders for non-violent calls. I really like that, actually. Should police departments be allowed to use military-grade equipment? Probably not. Prisons ban the use of solitary confinement. Problem for juveniles? No. Should the electoral college be abolished? Probably. We've progressed enough. Should photo ID be required to vote? Probably. Should foreigners currently residing in the U.S.? No. The government require children to be vaccinated for preventable disease. Preventable disease? COVID? Oh. Nuclear energy? Safe? I don't know the... I mean, there's a lot of good points here. We should invest in cleaner alternatives, yes. The government allow the commercialization of lab-grown meat? I don't care, but no. Allow the commercial. Lab-grown meat, dude? I don't know. I don't care. Dude, how are we... They're culturing animal cells, bro? What are you doing? Just growing a chicken breast? Dude, that's weird, bro. I don't know, dude. Do more studies. I don't know. That's just weird. Should the government implement rent control policies to limit the amount landlords can charge for rent? I simply don't think that's gonna work for the landlords. You know, they do have to make a dollar. But see, I think the real heart of the issue is that corporations shouldn't be putting their money into real estate portfolios. But then, yeah, they should. Who would own the skyscrapers? Okay. not residential properties. Yes, housing is basic right that should be affordable to anyone. Yes, but only in areas with housing shortages. No, studies show that rent control does not lower rent. No, incentivize the development of new housing instead. Yeah, dude, like this was already on here. Ban corporate and foreign investors from purchasing residential real estate instead. You're targeting the heart of the issue. And I've said this before, where you have labor costs inflated by the housing cost. Everything is so expensive to be made and produced in America because it's so expensive to pay someone to do it, because it's expensive to live here. There's no one, you can't follow it back. No one sees it. Sure they do. Should homeless individuals that have refused availability, shelter, or housing be allowed to sleep or encamp on public property? To sleep but not encamp, only in designated areas. I really do think that it's public property and they should be able to. Yes, and create more social programs. Yeah, of course, it's a great idea. But only in designated areas. Yeah, I think that's all good. Should the government provide subsidies for first-time home buyers? It distorts. Well, I don't think it's gonna distort the housing market. People are still gonna get paid the value that their house is worth. It's just that first-time buyers who don't currently own a home, who just want a place to live, if they are able to buy a house and get stability, and that will help bring everyone together. If everyone is stable, if the government can afford to blow money here and there, yes. Did the government apply higher reciprocal tariffs? Countries with large trade deficits. Trade balance. I don't know, really. I'm not a economic expert. But if they have a large trade deficit, it's kind of like, all right, the more you're buying from us, the lower your tariff will be. That's actually really fair. Yes, and adjust them yearly based on trade balance changes. It's actually really fair. Are we almost done with this? Should the government impose a baseline tariff on all imports from every country? I don't know. That's like the baseline. 10% could be the baseline. If you buy enough from us, then you're free of it. You don't have to pay it. If you do enough business with us. But if you don't do enough business with us, it's going to go up. That sounds fair. That all sounds fair, actually. I don't know. Someone tell me wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Should the government exempt essential goods like pharmaceuticals from the 2025 tariff increase? I could see that. The president be able to authorize military force against Al Qaeda without congressional approval? No. Did the government use facial recognition technology for mass surveillance to enhance public safety? I mean, oh, we're gonna go into that age eventually. Did the U.S. assassinate suspected terrorists? Yes. Should illegal immigrants have access to government subsidized health care? Should illegal immigrants? They should be deported after. Yes, and then deport them. Everyone gets health. Everyone gets health treatment. Did the U.S. build a wall along the southern border? Don't we have a wall? Yes. Should undocumented immigrants be offered in? Should undocumented immigrants be offered in-state tuition rates at public colleges? Oh. The government increase or decrease? They shouldn't undocumented immigrants? I'm sorry. Did the government increase or decrease military spending? Probably decrease. I don't think it's an increase. I'm pretty much okay with it. Spend it better because they waste money. I tell you, no shit, you know, they'll be like, see this bag of pretzel sticks? Imagine instead of pretzel sticks, this bag was full of bolts. Bolts that you would assemble something with. Long bolts, threads you screw into something. Very long, thick, sturdy bolts. But because they're used for the military and they're very high quality, they have to inspect them 30 times before they get used. That bag of bolts might be $75,000. Gosh, you're fucking kidding. But if you were to a regular, you know, construction company or whoever's building some shit would buy that for $100, $500. I don't know, something very small. Literally, it's just completely overblown. Maybe because of specific quality of the metal they're using, higher standards. The United States, maybe I'll look up that video. The United States provide military supplies and funding to Ukraine. Let's see, why not? Should foreign terrorism suspects be given constitutional rights? No. The government stopped the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline. Oil pipeline through the Dakotas, the oil pipeline, crude oil along the eastern seaboard. Yeah. I don't want to destroy these people's. Yeah, can't you just reroute it away from the Native American land? Should the government increase environmental regulations to prevent climate change? Sure. Should the U.S. withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement? There's all if you open up the show more responses, there's always this like really super based answer, and it says yes until other countries are held to the same standards. Why aren't we all held to the same standards? Based. Did the government impose stricter fuel efficiency standards on vehicles? No, because it's making vehicles too. Does the government require all new cars to be electric or hybrid by a certain date? Yes, to require all emissions based. True. The materials is a big problem. Banning gas. Banning gas. I think this is right now until we find a friendly, an eco-friendly and humane way to acquire the materials. The government implement stricter emission standards for diesel vehicles. I'm actually not as well educated on this. No, and eliminate. Yay. Diesels are already heavily regulated. Raise the tax rate for corporations. For the universal basic income. Yes, everyone should receive an income to cover basic necessities, including food and housing. No, this will encourage people not to work and harm economic growth. The universal basic income would probably be what, half of minimum wage? So yeah, everyone should have help with food and housing. There's a lot of homeless people that could be helped. Obviously if you're only gonna get half minimum wage. Then if you're making X amount of dollars, you won't get it anyway. Basically just like a safety net. Did the government acquire equity stakes in companies it bails out during a recession? Equity stakes. Yeah. Okay. But over time they'll repay it and they'll get their shares back, basically. Yes. Government require employees? No. What political party do I identify with? I don't know. Uh, Above average. Inherited a mess. How would you rate the current versus? I don't know what to do. Why did it take me back to the top, bro? Oh, it said discuss. How would you rate your current average, bro? I don't know. What qualities are most important to you? Honesty. Bullshit. All right, let's find out what I am. What would I align with? Based on my political beliefs, these are the political parties I side with. I side with veterans. Pog. Yeah, dude, I was gonna say, this is exactly... Wow. Yeah, dude. Schools should require at least one teacher to be armed. Hire professionally trained security guards. I could see that. What? Dude, way too many people said... Oh wait, maybe I understood this question wrong. Sure. Well, that settles that.